Hey, what's up guys? It's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in this video, we're gonna be going over 7 things that good base runners do that bad base runners don't do. So I really think this is gonna help you take your game to that next level and become a better base runner. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, so one of the first things that good base runners do as soon as they get on base is they scan the defense. They try to get some sense of what's going on out there. You know, bad base runners, they get on first base and they're so excited that they got a base hit. Maybe they're, talking to the first baseman, talking to their first base coach. They're looking in the stands, right? They're relieved because they just got on base. And you got to realize you did a great job by getting on base, but that's just the very first part of the story. Now it's time to get into scoring position, and now it's time to score and help your team win, right? So that starts with scanning the defense. So when you get on base, that's fine. Give your first base coach some knucks, right? Give him a fist bump, but then be sure you're figuring out, okay, just really quick glance. Where are the infielders at? What are they doing? Is anything abnormal with the infield? All right, look in the outfield. Okay, where are they playing? Are they positioned just about perfectly? Is somebody out of position? Are they playing shallow? Are they playing deep? You know, who's got the best arm in the outfield? Who's got the best speed? Who's the slowest? Who can you maybe run on because he's the slowest guy and he's got the weakest arm, or whatever the case may be, right? But you're just trying to get a general sense of the situation, seeing if anything looks a little bit different. You got to be aware of your surroundings. So that's the first thing that really good base runners do, is they get on base and they do a quick little scan of the defense. The next thing you want to do is have a consistent demeanor. So every single time you get on base and every single pitch, you need to have a similar behavior. I should never really be able to tell what's going on by the way that you're carrying yourself as a base runner. And what I mean by that is, bad base runners, they have tells. And so they might be, a bad base runner might be talking to the first baseman, right? And when nothing's on, they might be, casually taking the lead like this. And, they're 2 feet away from the bag, right? Nothing's going on. And so I look lazy here. And then all of a sudden, if coach puts on a steal or whatever, then all of a sudden, they stop talking to the first base coach. Their entire demeanor changes. And maybe they're more in a crouch down position like this, where they were before, kind of lazy up here, right? They have tells on, okay, something's up because he's not acting in the same way that he was. So every single time you get on base, every single pitch, you've got to have the same demeanor about you. You got to carry yourself in the same way. I should never be able to tell whether, you're going to be stealing on this particular pitch, or if nothing's on and you're going nowhere. You should have the exact same approach every single time. The next thing good base runners do is they future pace the next play. So in other words, you need to think about the situation and what could occur before it actually happens. The worst thing that you want is the ball to be put into play or something to happen and you be caught off guard and you be thinking and trying to process, okay, what am I doing here? That needs to take place beforehand. Really, before you even take your lead, you need to be knowing exactly what you're going to be doing. So future pace it. Think about, I'm on base now. Okay, I've done my quick little scan and all that good stuff. Now just think about, what's the situation? Who's on base? Is there anybody in front of me? Who's on base? How many outs are there? What inning are we in? What's the situation? We talked about, where's everybody positioned? Who's got the good arms? Who's got the bad arms? And just think about future pace the situations that could happen. Okay, ball in the dirt, I'm gone, right? If it gets far enough away or goes to the backstop or whatever, think about, okay, on a ground ball, what am I doing? Well, I got to go on a ground ball. Line drive, what am I doing? Fly ball, what am I doing? What about on a deep fly ball? Maybe on a deep fly ball, can I, instead of going halfway, can I get back here and potentially tag, right? So just run through. There's only so many things that can happen, right? Run through quickly at least, okay, what am I doing on a ground ball, line drive, fly ball, deep fly ball? Think about future pace the situation. That way, when the ball's put in play, you can just, boom, you're gone. You can react quickly instead of, trying to think about what you're going to do next. The next thing good base runners do is they take a great lead. And I think there's a difference between just taking a lead, right? Because every base runner, everybody that gets on base has to take a lead. There's a difference between just taking a lead and taking a great lead. Ideally, when you get to the end of your lead, right, you want to be in a position to where, if it makes sense, if your coach puts on the sign, you can steal a base here. You can swipe it back, or you can go first to third on a base hit, right? So you want to be out far enough, but you also want to be able to get back. We don't want to get picked off at any base, but especially at first base. So it's a balance between, you want to get out far enough, but not too far, okay? But it all starts with, you've got to take a great lead every single time you get on base. So how do you do it? Well, the way that I always like to coach players when they're taking a lead is I like to do right, left, right footwork. So it's not right, left, right like this with my shoulders facing towards second base like this, because that's easy for me to get picked off if I just start walking out like this, right? I'm gonna have a hard time getting back. So what I like to do is right, left, right, and close myself off. You see how as I was going into that second step, I closed myself off? So right, left, right, close myself off, and then leading with this front foot here, step and a drag, step and a drag. Slow and controlled, that way, you know, I never want to be hopping or jumping out, skipping out or anything like that. I want everything to be slow and deliberate, that way I can quickly get back. Now, some people, you know, like to do the opposite. They like to go left foot first. I just think that right, left, right, you see most big league players taking leads like that. And yes, you know, this second step, you are kind of crossing your feet, but I think you're only, you know, really a step away, and you can always get back to the bag. So that's the way that I like to do it. Be sure that you're taking a good lead. I like to go right, left, right, close yourself off, step and a drag, maybe 2 steps, maybe 2.5 or 3. Be at a good distance to where, you know, you can get back if necessary, or you can swipe a bag or go first to third. You've also got to take an aggressive secondary lead and anticipate advancing, okay? You can't be caught off guard when the ball is put in play and then you're trying to think about, okay, what am I doing now? What does the situation call for now? You can't be thinking about the situation. You can't be caught off guard and hesitate at all when the ball's put in play. You just have to go, like the drop of a hat, go. You got to be ready, and how you do that is with a good secondary lead. So we talked about taking our lead, right? We're at a good distance out here now, and then, you know, there's a difference again between just taking a lead and taking a good lead. And there's a difference between taking a good secondary lead, you know, 2 aggressive shuffles. And there's also a difference between, you see a lot of base runners who are just so lazy with it. You see the 2 extremes, right? You see guys who, you know, the pitcher commits to the plate and they just kind of go like this and just 2 lazy shuffles and walk back to the base like this. Then you see the guys that are kind of overzealous and they're, you know, going way too far and they end up in the middle of the base path. And that's a good way to get picked off at first base, right? Back picked by the catcher. So I think 2 aggressive shuffles is the name of the game here, and you really want it to be so, you know, you time it well to where when the ball's crossing the plate and it's reaching the hitting zone, you're coming down on your second shuffle. That way, if the ball's hit, if the hitter swings and he puts the ball in play and you're advancing, you can just automatically go right into it, or, you know, with that same timing, you can get back to the base if necessary. So take a good lead, right? And then 2 aggressive shuffles as your secondary lead. Be sure that the pitcher commits to the plate first, then 2 aggressive shuffles, anticipate advancing. And there's a fine line between, you got to be aggressive, you got to gain distance towards your target, towards second base, towards advancing, but you can't get in the middle of the base path and risk being thrown out at first base, right? So get out to a good distance, right? And then once he commits to the plate, 2 aggressive shuffles, and then you obviously advance if the situation allows you to, or get back to the base. All right, moving on, the 6th thing that really good base runners do that poor base runners just fail to do, you have to read the ball down in the dirt. What I mean by that is pay attention to the angle of the baseball. All right, so obviously once the pitcher commits to the plate, you're gonna watch the baseball out of the corner of your eye before you're shifting your eyes to the hitting zone. So you're gonna see the baseball, and if you see the baseball as, you know, it's got a really big downward trajectory, you know after you've been playing baseball for any length of time, you know what I'm talking about. If it looks like it's coming down too steep and it's gonna not make it to the plate and it's gonna be a ball that's in the dirt, right? You need to be really, really aggressive with your secondary lead, and you need to take advantage of that opportunity and be ready for, okay, I'm reading the ball, oh, that ball's gonna be in the dirt. If that ball gets under the catcher's glove and goes to the backstop, or even if it just gets away from him 5 or 6 feet, if it gets away from the catcher far enough to where I can advance, I need to obviously take advantage of that opportunity. And this is one of those things where it'll really make you stand out in a negative way if you fail to take advantage of an opportunity where the ball gets 10 feet away from the catcher but you didn't recognize it. You're still sitting at first base here instead of being in scoring position. So good base runners, they anticipate, they do a great job of thinking about the situation before it happens, and they anticipate, they read the down angle of the baseball. And ball in the dirt, it's not automatic. It's not every single time a pitch goes in the dirt you're taking off, because that's a good way to get thrown out if the catcher does a good job at handling it. But if the ball goes to the backstop or if it gets away from him and you can advance, you better take advantage of that opportunity. All right, and the last tip I want to cover in today's video with you is good base runners, they have a different lead for each base. So we talked about taking a lead earlier. That was a lead from first base. And so from first base, again, back corner of the bag, I'm taking my lead off the back corner and I'm diving back towards the back corner. But my footwork is going to be, you know, right, left, right, and then maybe a couple more steps, step and a drag, right? And I get out to a position to where I can potentially advance a second or get back. Now that's my lead at first base, but at second base, it's going to look a little bit differently. And at third base, let's say I'm at third base now, okay? So I've transformed, I'm over at third base now. This is no longer first base, okay? My lead is not going to look the exact same. My lead at third base, I'm not getting picked off at third base. And so I'm probably going to take my lead a little bit later and I'm just going to kind of casually stroll off of third base like this. I'm going to be much closer to the bag. And then at third base, I'm not getting down, I'm not crouching down in this position like this. I might be a little bit more casual, a little bit more upright with my shoulders facing, you know, down the line. And then as the pitcher commits to the plate, my footwork is going to be right, left, right with that right foot, that third step landing, you know, when the ball crosses the plate, when it enters the hitting zone. And I'm in foul territory, assuming again this is third base, I'm in foul territory. So home plate's over there, I'm in foul territory here. I'm gonna go right, left, right, down and foul. I'm ready to advance and hopefully score. Or, you know, if the catcher catches the ball, the hitter, you know, he swings and misses, or, you know, maybe he takes that pitch, right? I go right, left, right, down and foul, and then I'm going to step in fair territory and my eyes are on the catcher here. And as I work my way back, I'm in fair territory here. When I take my lead, I'm down in foul, but I'm back in fair because I don't want to go down in fair territory and get hit by a line drive and be out, right? I have to go down in foul, back in fair. So just little intricacies about the game. But your lead and your strategy is going to be a little bit different at each base. It's not going to be just the same everywhere. So that's a little thing that can set you apart from other players and other base runners. I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button if it helped you out, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you never miss any of our upcoming videos. And hitters, I put together an awesome free resource. I really think you're gonna like it. It's called the Contact Point Checklist, and you can download it 100% for free. This checklist is gonna help you make sure that your swing looks picture perfect at the point of contact, so you can maximize your bat speed and your power and your consistency at the dish. So it's 100% free. Just click on the link down below in the description or in the comments section to go download it right now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.